The new Harry Potter series has brought a lot of mixed emotions. While a few people are rooting for the series to succeed, the majority of fans think it's destined to fail. But what do the facts say? Is it a bad idea for the directors to revisit a franchise that is already famous and etched into eternity? They're using the same script, the same characters, and the same plot twists. So in other words, they're essentially trying to turn the exact same thing into history again. At least, that's what the internet thinks. Let's take a deeper look at this drama and see if the fans are right to criticize the new Harry Potter TV series. Even after all these years, Harry Potter is one of those rare franchises that's still thriving, and fans get all the credit for keeping it alive. So it's only natural if they seem frustrated by what's happening with their favorite cinematic universe. Now, the book fans have always been very critical of the movies. The series had it coming when they announced a relaunch of the films as a TV series, but nobody expected the backlash to come from the movie fans. It might sound harsh, but it's the truth. The series ended up doing the one thing no one could have done. It brought the book fans and the movie fans onto the same page, united by their mutual angst for the new HBO series. The internet is fairly heated up in its discourse about the series in every way. Every announcement turns into a hot topic and basically just sparks far war level debate across all platforms. As soon as one rumor dies down, another takes its place and fuels more controversy and speculation. Alright, first of all, nobody asked the directors to film the same story again. Fans wanted a series on the Marauders, a story about Snape, a film on the 4 founders of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Heck, even a series about Lockhart and how he's been pulling off crazy antics to get to the top would have been better than this. Yet, nothing of the sort happened. Yes, they gave us Fantastic Beasts, and it was a huge hit until they cancelled it. So, what did they decide? To film the same franchise again, but with the twist of telling every detail in the book. At least, that's the rumor. Now, that might be enough to tempt the book fans a bit, but it's likely they didn't learn anything from the Cursed Child play. It seems like they're making these same mistakes again, and that's part of the reason why the backlash is so strong this time. Here's why fans think this series is not a good idea. The Harry Potter films weren't perfect, but they got the job done. I mean, no one can deny that. The movies had their own flaws, a lot of things from the books didn't make it in, and fans know this all too well. They can list literally every missing piece and questionable change despite the film's global success. One of the biggest examples of this is the fact that the original directors somehow found time for some arguably redundant scenes, but couldn't fit in Voldemort's origin story. Additionally, fans haven't stopped talking about how the movies stripped away Ginny Weasley's personality, and we expect those same people to stay quiet about the new series? Yeah, that's a stretch. And fans aren't buying it. So no, the movies weren't ideal in portraying the books, but they were the definitive filmed version of the Harry Potter franchise. For a generation of fans, the movies offered a vivid peek into the magical world. Even today, if someone starts reading the books, they often jump straight to the movies and enjoy them just as much. The movies aged well, all things considered, and that's a fact. Why mess with them and put a stain on the Harry Potter franchise? Believe it or not, the hardest task for the directors in this show is the fact that they simply cannot replace the original cast. It isn't just about the Golden Trio either. Nobody can imagine anyone other than Alan Rickman as Severus Snape, Imelda Staunton as Umbridge, or Gary Oldman as Sirius Black. If we talk about the trio, Daniel, Rupert, and Emma practically grew up with the movies. They were cast as children and kept playing the same characters until the very end. They were loved by millions of people all around the world. Do you think anyone is gonna accept a new trio? The directors were pretty blunt about their casting decisions. They don't want any original actors in this new series because they want it to feel fresh. But if you're using the same story, wouldn't it make sense to include a couple of the original cast members? Just a thought. We all saw what happened with the Cursed Child. It seems like a similar thing is brewing with this new TV series. It's no surprise that the fans aren't enthusiastic about the new series. While a few fans are excited, the majority are already opposing the idea. Look, there's a lot of Harry Potter content the directors could use to bring fans together. There are so many exciting options for exploring the magical world beyond simply redoing the films. Star Wars is doing it, why not Harry Potter? Without a doubt, this is the most controversial issue with the new Harry Potter series. The directors are trying too hard to fit into the woke culture. Did you know that a black actor has been cast as Severus Snape? It's the same move the directors made in The Cursed Child when they cast a black actress as Hermione. Don't get me wrong, it's great to see inclusivity on our screens. But is this the right way to represent people of different cultures and races? It almost feels like the directors are setting these actors up for criticism. Yes, they signed up for the roles, but if you know anything about the challenges faced by black actors in mainstream media, it's hard to pin the blame on them. On one hand, they're rebooting a beloved franchise. On the other, they're making unnecessary changes to an original storyline that has millions of fans worldwide. It seems like they're setting themselves up for disaster. Let's say the new series is different, with new storylines and more character depth, something the movies lacked. Do you think it's going to be well received by the original fans? Whether good or bad, there are going to be opinions, and you just can't predict if the scales are going to tip in the direction directors want. This time, the comparisons won't stop at the books. The series will constantly be measured against both the original films and the novels. The movies only had one major competitor, the books, and even then, they had some leeway. After all, you can only fit so much into a 2-hour film, right? But can a TV series make that same excuse? All this attention does bring buzz to the series, but what about the actors? They're under immense pressure to live up to expectations. It could go either way here. Some critics think that this is simply a cash grab that only prioritizes profit over art. They believe the directors are simply trying to keep the franchise alive, unaware of what damage they're doing to it. Naturally, they can't play around with the narrative too much. The idea is to bring the books to life by portraying them in more detail, episode by episode. That essentially just reduces the room for creativity and originality. On top of that, fans might struggle to stay engaged with a story they already know by heart. The Harry Potter fandom is known for being one of the most passionate fandoms out there, so it wouldn't be surprising if the series ends up only catching the eye of a few curious newcomers while failing to make much of a splash beyond that. Honestly, it feels like a gamble. If they can deliver one truly good episode, maybe opinions are gonna shift. This brings us to the final point. Are fans overreacting by criticizing every little detail, or are they justified in their concerns? Let me be clear here. Hate isn't justified in any form. But also, fans are allowed to comment on something they've been so dedicated to for the longest time. They didn't just watch or read Harry Potter, they lived it. The books and movies shaped their childhoods, and the Harry Potter franchise encouraged that connection. It gave us everything. Video games, a wizarding theme park, and even a quiz to sort us into our Hogwarts houses. It's one of the most interactive fandoms in the world. How could fans not be invested? But when it comes to TV adaptations, the franchise hasn't had much success. Think about it. Every few years, they give us something just big enough to keep us clinging to the wizarding world. But fans are growing tired of this pattern. With multiple failed spin-offs, expectations are at an all-time low. The fans keep going back to the movies, and with good reason, right? So no, I'm not going to blame the fans for speaking up. We love a good adaptation, just not at the cost of the original story. So in my opinion, the fans aren't acting prematurely. Sure, the series hasn't come out yet, but let's not pretend the directors don't know exactly what they're doing. They've been carefully dropping cast reveals almost like they're testing the waters. When they announced Papa Essuto as Snape, they saw the backlash and still moved forward. So, whether they're chasing shock value or trying to grab the attention of old fans, they know how to keep the internet talking. It's not like fans are rooting for these series to fail. If the directors manage to pull off a genuinely great TV series, it'll be a surprise, but a welcome one. What do you think about this analysis? Do fans have the right to comment on the new series? Are their concerns valid? And do you think the directors would be better off creating fresh content from the Harry Potter universe rather than redoing the original films? Let us know what you think in the comments below. As always, stay curious, stay magical, and don't forget to subscribe for more Wizarding World deep dives. I'll catch you next time.